Hello, everyone. It's Miriam Ortiz y Pino here with More Than Organized. And today we're going to talk about questions for easier decluttering, because questions are the key to getting rid of the right stuff. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but I want to remind everyone to go ahead and check out morethanorganized.net. You can sign up there for weekly updates and some free resources to help you control your paper, or there's 5 ways to declutter fast, which is a fabulous one-page handout on how to ask some of these questions and the right way to think about your decluttering efforts. So it's a perfect companion to today's video. So go to morethanorganized.net and check that out. All right, so today it's all about decluttering, and we've been talking about the steps to get organized, and we've already covered the why you want to get organized, and we've done a little bit of planning, and then we did some sorting, which was putting like things together. It was only getting rid of the actual obvious trash right off the bat, but now we've got piles of like things together, and what we want to do is declutter from that perspective, because now you have all your options in one place. And so you can see which ones you like better than others. And you can see where you have way too many and, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And so I like to do the putting like things together first and then the purging or decluttering step. So it's really about the questions you ask yourself at this stage and what your answers are. Because it's one of the funnest parts about helping my clients get organized is listening to their answers about why they have certain things. So it's also really important to know the difference between a want and a need. The things you need, you have to keep. And by need, I mean actually for your survival, not stuff that you just really, really like. That is different. That is a want, and it's okay to keep some of your want items. It's just different than a need. People will tell me all the time, I need that t-shirt. It's like, no, you don't need that t-shirt. You have 27 others. You just really like this t-shirt, so it might be the one you keep, but maybe one of the others can go. So that's what, just having a little bit of an idea of the difference between your wants and your needs can help you in the decluttering process. What else do I want to say about wants? Well, I think it's just going to be really easy to see now that you have like things together that you may have too many of things you want. I have clients that have a lot of different, let's say perfume or a whole bunch of different body lotions and things because you want to smell good. Well, what if you picked a signature scent and then you didn't need all the ones you don't actually like the way they smell, or someone in your family doesn't actually like the way they smell? So then that doesn't become a need, that's just a want, and you can let go of all the excess on that, okay? It may be that you need one scent because scent is an important thing for you and it makes you happy. That's fine, but do you need 100? So this is where knowing the difference between your needs and your wants and seeing how many versions of the things you think you need can really play a role in helping you let go of things. So the first questions I always ask people are, first of all, what is it? And then second of all, what are you going to do with it? And why did you buy it in the first place? So they kind of all go together. What is it? Why do you have it in the first place? And what are you going to do with it now? And if you can't answer these questions, if you end up saying just maybe someday, or I thought I would use it for this, but that didn't work out, so I just have it, so I'm going to keep it, that's where you can start letting go of more things by realizing what you're saying. You are saying you were willing to store this thing that you no longer need or want because it was purchased specifically for a thing that didn't happen or is already over, and now it's just around, so you might as well keep it. Well, there's this thing that turns out we are more hesitant to get rid of something we already own. We feel a sense of possession and ownership. But if you want to declutter and simplify your life, you really have to just recognize that that is what's happening at that point in time, and that your whole life won't fall apart if you get rid of that extra bottle of special specific glue for plastic, or those kinds of things, that extra can of paint, or those kinds of things that tend to pick up pile up around projects that have already happened or never happened. Okay, so just know what you want. The other thing that happens around this point is that people aren't even sure what things are. So I will show them something and it'll be like, what, where did that come from? It's a part of something usually, or it's a kid's toy that they're not familiar with, or it's, you know, something that they inherited and they're just not really sure. And so they put it aside because they can't get rid of it if they don't know what it is. And I would argue it's the opposite. If you don't even know what it is, you don't actually need it, because the things you need, you're aware of and you know what they are and you have handy and you use them. So think about that. Okay, so then we have some ways of getting rid of things really quickly. My favorite is the yes, no, maybe sort. And that is where you grab a pile of things. Let's just stick with our ongoing example. Let's say office supplies, and you have 5 different pairs of scissors in your pencil cup, and that came out of your desk drawer and the credenza. Pick which scissors you want to have. You know, like sort the yes, no, maybe very quickly. So there may be a definite no pair of scissors because they're dull or they're kid scissors, or there may be a couple pairs that feel good in your hand, but one isn't as sharp as the other and you can't remember which one. So those could be the maybes. Or maybe, you know, I always use these scissors because they're the best. Then you keep those as the yes. But the yes, no, maybe works brilliantly because it allows you to quickly move through things because you're not worried about the stuff you're not sure about. It's just a maybe. So it goes into a special pile. So I love the yes, no, maybe thing because you get to keep moving forward. And then when you finish sorting through a whole pile with just the yes, no, maybe question, you can remove the no's. They can go away. They can go to the trash or the donation bin or give back to the person they actually belong to. You can put the yeses away where you anticipate those things will live. And then the maybes get reevaluated a second time. So you go through the maybes now that you've looked at the whole pile and say, well, these maybes, well, yes, I do want this pair because I didn't actually find the other pair I thought I had. I never found that blue-handled pair of scissors. I'm not sure where it is. So for now, I'd rather have the green ones. You know, you can start by knowing a little more information as you go through yes, no, maybe through a whole pile. And that way, the maybes, the second time through, you can get rid of a few more and say yes to a few more. And you may still have a few maybes and you need more information. Those can just travel around with you. I call it the transition pile. It is the stuff you still don't have quite enough information about. So depending on what it is and how much room you have, if it's just something small and you actually have enough room, you can keep it with the yeses. If it is tight fit, keep only your definite yeses there and move the maybes around in a box with you as you work around the whole house, because eventually you're going to have enough information to know if you need it or not. Okay, so that's a way to do things really quickly and get rid of quite a few things. And often, because we've already put like things together, you're going to be able to make a decision about a whole group of things. You know, if you have a whole bunch of old embellishments and you no longer scrapbook, you can say, I don't need any of the embellishments, right? You can just get rid of all of them in one fell swoop because you now have a whole pile of embellishments. Does that make sense? Okay. The secondary thing I like to look at, and you can do it kind of as you're doing yes, no, maybe, or you can do it as a separate approach, is the quality over quantity of things. So again, with the scissors, which is your favorite kind, your best pair? Which ones do you like the most? Those are the ones you're going to use the most often and are going to enjoy using. And so you don't really need all the other extras because you don't need stuff you don't like. Okay, so always go for the best quality thing that you like best. Now, they're not mutually exclusive. Occasionally, I have found something that was really inexpensive is actually my favorite version of things. I have, oh shoot, I don't have one here because I use something different for my house, but my favorite desk drawer divider thing that I use with clients all the time is actually the cheapest version of a desk drawer organizer I've ever found. It's like $3.85 most of the time at Office Depot. And it is just 6 sections and they're a little bit deeper and it's a little bit smaller tray. And so it fits in almost every single drawer. even the weird little narrow stock cabinets that people sometimes have in their bathroom or edge of their kitchen. So I love that particular drawer divider, but it's one of the least expensive versions there is. So always pick which one serves you best, and usually that can become your favorite. Now, occasionally one is prettier but not as easy to use, and when that's the case, always go with the best quality of the one that works the best, okay? Does that make sense? I hope so. Occasionally you can have something that's just purely for beauty, but for most kind of tools and things you're going to be using, not worth going for pretty over function, okay? Then you want to eliminate, actually remove all the items you decided you no longer need or want, because if you mix them back in, then you have to make the decisions again. And that's what happens to a lot of my clients. They spend a lot of time rearranging. They sort things into like things together, and then they get interrupted, and instead of making any decisions, or they might have made a few decisions, but something happens and they're interrupted, and so they scoop it all back together and they put it back where it was. And now they have to do it again, and they haven't made any forward progress. So if you're constantly eliminating the no's, actually throwing the trash away, actually putting the recycle in the recycle bin, actually putting the stuff in the trunk so it goes to Goodwill, and then driving to Goodwill and taking it out of your car, you actually end up with fewer decisions to make the next time. You're not making the same ones over and over. You've already made one, so you're making forward progress. So that's a big hint right there. Get rid of the stuff soon so you don't have to decide again. All right. I hope you enjoyed this look at decluttering, and next time we are going to pull it all together with how to keep the things that you decided to keep and how to keep them well and good and moving the whole project forward. In the meantime, don't forget to check out morethanorganized.net. Opt in there for that 5 ways to declutter fast PDF worksheet is available there, and I will see you again next week.